Hey, we're reading Genesis chapter 40, verses 12 through 23 today. Then Joseph said to him, if you remember the baker or the cupbearer, Pharaoh's cupbearer had a dream. Had a dream that he saw three branches and that there were luscious grapes there, and he saw them squeezing those grapes and giving Pharaoh something to drink. And now Joseph is telling this cupbearer what the dream meant. If you remember, the cupbearer and the baker have been thrown in prison along with Joseph. So then Joseph said to him, this is its interpretation. The three branches are 3 days. In 3 days, Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you to your office, and you shall place Pharaoh's cup in his hand as formerly when you were his cupbearer. Lift up your head. This is actually going to be the same interpretation for the baker that he is going to have in just a moment. He's also going to have Joseph interpret his dream, and I want you to look for that lift up your head terminology. So Joseph is telling the cupbearer, hey, it's all going to be great. You're going to be restored to your place. Only remember me when it is well with you, and please do me this kindness to mention me to Pharaoh, and so get me out of this house. For I was indeed stolen out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also I have done nothing that they should put me into this pit. So remember me when you get restored. Remember me in front of Pharaoh. And in fact, the cupbearer doesn't do it. He forgets him. And this is an attitude we need to remember. We may be forgotten by people, but we are never forgotten by the Lord. He is always with us. And that is the terminology. That is what we need to walk away with from this entire Joseph story, is that everybody else appears to have stepped away from Joseph, but the Lord, of course, has not. So when the chief baker saw that the interpretation was favorable, he said to Joseph, oh, me too. I also had a dream. There were 3 cake baskets on my head. Okay, well, 3 days. You can probably figure this out already. And in the uppermost basket, there were all sorts of baked goods for Pharaoh. Oh, so maybe he's going to be restored to his place too. But the birds were eating it out of the basket on my head. And that's going to be kind of the south turn of this dream. And Joseph answered and said, this is its interpretation. The 3 baskets are 3 days. In 3 days, Pharaoh will lift up your head from you. Same terminology, lift up your head. That's what he says to the cupbearer. And then this one, same thing, lift up your head, but from you, and hang you on a tree, and the birds will eat the flesh from you. So it's not going to be a favorable dream for the baker. He is going to be executed for whatever crime he committed. The cupbearer is going to be restored. On the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, he made a feast for all of his servants and lifted up the head of the chief cupbearer and the head of the chief baker among his servants. So here again, you still have the same kind of play on words, lifted up the head. And both their heads are being lifted up, just in different ways. He restored the chief cupbearer to his position, and he placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. But he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet the chief cupbearer did not remember Joseph, but forgot him. Again, everybody else is forgetting Joseph, turning their backs on Joseph, but the Lord, of course, has not. He has remained true and faithful to him. I pray that's been a blessing to you. See you in the next video.